Hi, I'm Shaul. A viewer of this channel asked me if I had only one camera and one lens, what would it be? The answer to that is quite simple. I would choose my favorite lens, which is some sort of Poppy 28mm, which I find most useful for the photography I do, and pair it with the latest and greatest camera that can support it natively. Of course, it's a moving target type of answer. Every time a new camera appears on the market with higher processing power, better capabilities, the answer would change. The progression of digital photography has been slow for many years now. There are still some improvements, mainly in the realm of autofocus. Autofocus keeps getting better, easier to use, more intuitive. And that really makes the process of taking a photograph easier. The real question I would like to address is which camera would I consider being my last camera? I mean, a camera that is good enough for me, for my specific needs, that I would not be compelled to replace until it's completely broken. There is a set of criteria for choosing a camera. Each of us have our own criteria, of course. Photographers who like filming a lot of video would pay special attention to the video capabilities, to processing power, to slow motion capabilities. Sports and nature photographers would look for perhaps resolution, the buffer size, the frames per second their cameras could handle. To me, as a primarily people photographer or documentary photographer, I am more interested in low light capabilities, of course in the ease of using the autofocus and the output of the camera. It has to have good skin tones. It has to have a good dynamic range, because I am primarily shooting in available light that can be quite mixed, that can be quite contrasty. However, the number one criterion of last camera is reliability, not only to me, but I believe to everyone. It has to be a camera with a long shelf life that can handle some harsh conditions, that does not break easily, that has a high capacity shutter. Over the years, I had a few cameras that could make a legitimate last camera for me. The first one was the Olympus E3. It was a quite a large camera with a professional build. And it had a very nice output, good colors that are somewhat muted with strong reds and yellows and slightly muted greens. It had a color balance that was specific, that I could easily identify after I sold it. The second camera I would consider a good last camera is the Nikon D700. It's a famous camera known for its film-like colors that are quite muted, but they are beautiful. That camera has a limited dynamic range. You can really see it on many occasions, and that makes it perhaps less suitable tool for my needs. The third camera I would consider a good last camera might surprise you. It's the Olympus Pen EP2. That was the second body in the mirrorless pen system, and it introduced an external electronic viewfinder you could mount in the hot shoe. And that camera produced a lovely output. Really vibrant colors and very deep sort of results. It wasn't a very durable camera, but it was built well enough. It's small but quite dense. You can really feel the weight when you hold it. And it was all clad in some type of metal alloy. But again, I did not realize how good it was until I sold it. And that is the thing. You can only recognize a good glass camera in retrospect after you replace it with something else, something newer that is supposed to be better in many ways. But the replacement doesn't have the same type of confidence inspiring feeling or that special output that you really like. Only after you get rid of that camera you realize that this is what you are after. 11 years ago. At the time I was a very proud Micro Four Thirds and 4/3 shooter. I swore by my gear. I had all the newest, most expensive cameras, and I used to argue with everyone, claiming that the 4/3 format is quite enough. I demonstrated it by buying the fastest lenses available for that format and showing that with a fast lens you can really compete with a larger format system, which is of course true. Those sensors are sensitive enough and good enough in low light for anything, well, almost anything. But the difference between, let's say, our 4/3 system and our full frame system was not huge. Well, I thought so at the time. Of course, now I know that low light capabilities are only one small aspect of the look of a photograph. Larger formats offer you a more gradual fall off of sharpness, which really makes a difference, especially in wide-angle lenses. Anyway, in February of 2014, I managed to swap one of my Micro Four Thirds camera. I believe it was an Olympus EM5 at the time, with new camera made by Nikon, the DF, which was a retro style DSLR with all the shutter speed and ISO dials, and it really looked very cool. The chap I replaced the cameras with was looking for a smaller complementary system to his full frame Nikon set. And I was trying to prove that full frame didn't really offer anything to me over Micro Four Thirds. So I shot the DF with three lenses. The 24 f1.4G, the 50 f1.4G, and the 135 f2 DC, which is an older lens, a portrait lens, which renders in a beautiful way. Indeed, I showed that that full frame system did not offer any advantages over my Micro Four Thirds gear in low light, at least not at the conditions I was using it for. But that experience sowed a seed. Only after I swapped the cameras back, I realized how nice those images were. I noticed the difference in dynamic range, which the DF excelled in. It was perhaps the first modern sensor in the Nikon lineup, at least, that offered a really almost endless dynamic range. You could recover highlights and shadows to an extent that was impossible to do with previous cameras, even full-frame cameras, not to talk about smaller sensor cameras. The DF also has very true-to-life color rendition with naturalistic, beautiful colors, unique in a way. Until now, I can't remember any camera that can produce the same range of true-to-life colors. Even the Nikon D700 cannot compare to it. And I also realized that those borrowed lenses were exquisite. They were wonderful. Of course, they were not quite as sharp as the lenses I had for the Micro Four Thirds system at the time. But their rendering looked true to life, sharp but not too sharp. They were not clinical. They had a look I used to experience when I shot film. That was true especially of the 24mm f1.4G lens I now own. The Nikon DF would not make a good last camera for me. It is a very nice one, but it's not really very comfortable to hold. It's not made to last. It's more like a beautiful, sophisticated toy that is supposed to look retro. It's all about its look, its impression, not about its usability. The autofocus of the Nikon DF is a little bit questionable. Even at the time, it was not the best autofocus Nikon offered. So, what is my last camera? Well, it's this one. It's the Nikon D4S. It's a huge, massive thing. It is really bulky and heavy. And it's a DSLR, it's not a mirrorless camera. I think the mirrorless systems are too young to offer candidates for a last camera. They have to stand the test of time. They have to really show you their reliability. The D4S is paired with one of my favorite lenses, the Nikon 28mm f1.4E, which is a lovely lens. It's deep and dimensional, and I really find it very useful for the type of documentary photography I do, or what I call dirty photography. And it has the same sensor Nikon put in the DF. So it has the same sort of endless dynamic range. It has the same beautiful naturalistic colors that are not in your face. They're a little bit more muted, but they really look true to life. They match very well with the rendering of those a little bit older, more dimensional lenses. This camera has a very efficient, very, I would say, modern autofocus system. Even these days, I find autofocusing this camera quite comparable to the ease of use of modern mirrorless cameras. You only have to lift this camera up and hold it for a while, and you feel how well it's built. It's really built to last. It has a decades-long shelf life, or at least so it feels. It has a large, beautiful viewfinder Of course, it's not perfect. I would rather have a smaller camera for the applications I use it for, but it's highly capable for what I need. It's a camera that can do a lot more than simple low light documentary work. You will usually see such cameras used by sports or wildlife photographers with long lenses, shooting in long bursts. Well, I only use it in single shot mode. The Nikon D4S is not a discrete setup. It might even scare people when you point it at them. But when I shoot people, I'm not trying to be discreet. I'm not hiding. I like those small lenses, but for a last camera, as I said, I'm willing to compromise for the durability, for the reliability. The next series of shots was taken at our local pub this week. And there's a mixture of two setups, the D4S with the 28mm E and the ZF with the Type-Hawk 28mm f1.4. I will mix the images made by those two setups. Looking at them, I can't really tell the difference. Well, I can, because the color of the D4S are nicer to my eyes. But I would bet you cannot tell which camera took which photos. So what would be your last camera and last lens? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you again soon.